Danny Ricciardo hasn't ruled out a shift to NASCAR racing as he weighs up his options for after the 2022 season. The Australian driver seemed destined to make the move to a reserve driver position for 2023, with his deal with McLaren coming to an end after this year, with the aim of staying in and around the sport of F1 in order to gain a place back on the grid as soon as possible. Ricciardo as well, though, has a real affinity to the United States of America and hasn't necessarily ruled out a move to NASCAR at some point, although the likelihood of it being next year is pretty slim. The truth is that I wouldn't completely rule it out, said Ricciardo. It's not a definite no. The ovals are close to definitely saying no, but some road course stuff in NASCAR or something, I wouldn't completely rule it out. I know I'm not getting any younger, but I would still say not yet. It'd be interesting to see if Ricciardo takes his talents to an American racing series of some sort, but he, like many F1 drivers, is just not a fan of IndyCar or NASCAR when it comes to those giant oval circuits. Elsewhere, Christian Horner has warned that 6 teams are likely to have breached the 2022 budget cap this year. Now, Red Bull Racing were punished with a $7 million fine and a 10% reduction in their wind tunnel testing for next year after a minor breach of the 2021 budget cap. Now, the Red Bull team principal believes the FIA cost cap administration has set a precedent for this season with its punishment for the constructor, and that will have a major ramification on the sport, with 6 teams likely to have overspent on the cap this season due to perhaps the high energy prices around the globe. The danger for 2022 is that there could be 6 teams in breach of the cap, said Horner. Energy prices have been exponential. Thankfully, we've been protected. There is that chance that several teams, many of which have stated during Formula 1 Commission meetings, will break the cap this year. I do not believe we will break the cap in 2022. Horner added that if a 0.4% breach of the cap like Red Bull had last year warrants such a hefty fine and reduction in wind tunnel time, then what would perhaps a 10% breach of the cap bring? Perhaps hinting at the deficit that some teams haven't been able to claw back when it comes to reducing their costs. We will find out more on this, of course, in the next few days, and I'm sure over the next 12 months or so. But for everything in the world of F1, get on to GPFans.com and GPFans Global on Twitter and Instagram as well.